Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the Friendly Vibes.
Coming to you live from TSS Universidad. This is InTALLerable. My guest today, a man who I have long been excited to talk to. He's moved back to Denver from New York City to join the ranks of people that I long believe will be the future of comedy in this country. Jack Comstock is here.
Wow. Thanks. Wow. The whole country. High praise.
Bro, yeah. You've got a great voice for comedy, and a very unique one, I think. I can't get enough of your ass screaming about people driving on I-25. it makes me laugh harder than darn near anyone that comes through South is when you get in a pocket and of just pure rage about drivers on I-25. Yeah. Oh my gosh, man, it's so good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say what people are thinking, and everyone is thinking the same thing driving down 25, and and everyone else is also sane, and I'm in my car actually screaming, so try to bring that to the stage.
Yeah, you're one of the people doing the work in the world.
Yeah, look what you could be. This is what you could be.
Yeah, I put on a cool hat before this, thinking like, I can finally wear this cool hat. Like, this is the guess for the cool hat, and I was like, no.
You changed out and like, put this
there's
Star
no way
Camp
I can
one
pull
on
off a cool hat. Like, I tried to be cool like Jack.
Wait,
it
was a cool style hat?
Yeah, it's like a bucket hat, like like a wavy short brim bucket hat type of a thing.
Okay,
maybe after
interesting.
Hours, I'll pop it on.
Maybe
try some things.
Patreon episode. We'll get the cool bucket. Is it, what color is it?
It's like gray, and then it's a disc golf bucket hat. But
okay,
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, damn, I've been keeping it around. A disc golf bucket hat was too cool for you to try to pull up. Yeah, interesting.
I need to take more swings in life. That's for sure. I'm wearing
throw
work
more
pants.
discs. Yeah, maybe.
How many years did you start in Nebraska before going to New York?
Yeah.
How many years were you doing it in Nebraska?
So I did it for probably like three-ish years in Omaha.
You started super young, right?
I was 21. Okay. So it wasn't like crazy. Yeah.
I feel like that's like what they usually say, right? It's like dream pocket of starting like that.
Is around 21. Yeah, it's funny because I only really have my perspective, which is like I meet people who started when they're 18, and I'm like, I wish I started when I was 18. But then, a lot of people start when they're 35. So yeah, I do feel like, but I don't really think about it that much because sometimes it's just like you could start and in 2 years be better than someone who's done it for their whole life. So, I mean, I know Tim Dillon is a guy who got into comedy late.
Right. I
mean, in his late 30s at least, and obviously just like immediately had a voice and a character and killed. So, yeah, I think that starting young is awesome, but I think more I wish I just didn't go to college because it was a waste of my personal time. Like, looking back, I've done zero with a college degree. I've done zero with college. I've never had a job that wasn't like minimum, at least at the start of I've worked up through a company, but not like I didn't get there on my merit. I started as the shoe guy at a bowling alley and then just stuck it out for so long. So,
fuck.
I just wish, and I didn't really meet anyone in college, so I wish.
Where'd you go to college?
University of Omaha.
Okay, nice.
I just lived at home. I had a couple apartments like randomly, and I think it was like I was going to college, and then when I started comedy, it was like, I wish I didn't do this. But I was already like almost done, so I just finished. And And I was able to like live at my parents, and so
at least it's a little more cost effective than it could have been.
It allowed me to like do comedy a lot, and still was just like I went to school during the day, and I would.
What were you studying? Were you like interested in what you were learning, or? Like what you were going to college
really.
for? No?
I chose political science because I was like, this would be good for comedy, like Jon Stewart or whatever. And it's dude, politics, political science in college. I've heard this about college a lot. Like, you don't, all this stuff you work on in college, it's like graduate school is when you actually learn the application of the stuff you learned. So like college, because like I felt like all the poli-sci was like, this is how this was created, and this works like this, and this works like this, and it's like yeah, but like what happened yesterday? Like there's no class that's like, here's what's going on in the world until you learn about current events. It's all kind of historic, or
right. It's in the context of theory.
Like
they tell you what's going on now in the context of like a theory.
And stuff. So
that's so
ultimately like I was just talking about this with someone recently, but I wish I had, like, my last 2 years college, I didn't like going to an advisor. I just signed up on my own. I was like, poli-sci, I'll just take poli-sci classes. Well, there's poli-sci you take if you're a bachelor's of arts, and there's poli-sci you take if you're a bachelor's of science. I was taking every poli-sci, just so all of a sudden, so I have a bachelor's of general studies. So it's not arts or science. It's like general studies. So you can look
at anybody's parts.
So yeah. And I generally can give you an opinion, and
that's good. I mean, that's what you'd hope to have for comedy, right? Like you said, it sets up well.
Yeah,
seems like right. Yeah. General.
Well, so then I didn't have to have like do a theory. Or like what is it called?
Like a capstone or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't have to do like some. I just needed. So my last year and a half was taking like theater and speech. That's my biggest regret. I wish I would have just majored in speech. I was great at speech classes.
Could you major in speech?
If you can do if you can do poli-sci, public speaking, I mean, you can do anything. It's.
I want to do generalized underwater studies.
There's maybe public speaking it's called, but I definitely think that's like a
for sure. You get like emphasis in communications,
like, communications, maybe. I just wish I knew, but like, you know.
Were you someone that when you were younger, you liked talking to people, like always outgoing, this kind of?
Yeah, I was pretty outgoing always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it those college classes that like got you excited to think you could like talk to people, or what?
No, I think I was actually pretty reserved. I think in college specifically, like I'd say when I was young. In like middle school, high school, I was more obnoxious for attention. Like I just was like, looked really young. And so I would just try to be loud and stupid. And
was it effective?
Not quite,
Dang.
I would say. And then college, I was kind of just like, like I said, I went for 4.5 years and I don't have any connections to anyone I met.
Damn.
I made 0 friends in 4 years there at school. Like,
well, but you were living at home right?
I think once I started comedy, I was living at home. Yeah,
that's got to. I mean,
right.
Something to be said for that.
I had friends.
Right.
I had different groups of friends that didn't go there per se, but it was like it's not like I just went home
and you didn't have the pressure.
Did nothing. Yeah. Sometimes I did though. I played a lot of video games too at the time.
I'm saying like because like you're not 5 hours away from home with nobody that you went to school with, right?
Right.
There's that.
It was like a bunch of my friends just didn't even go to college, and I just did. But like we would live together or
but they don't know about general studies.
Yeah, they don't know shit generally. Yeah. They all got kids now. They're dumb as hell. That's suckers.
But when you found comedy, you were saying.
I found comedy?
Yeah, like that's when you started to kind of like.
Oh, I think that's when I came out of my shell. And that was about the same time when I started taking those classes. So yeah, I had a lot of fun in the acting class. And I guess, you're always going to wish you had done stuff earlier. And especially with like the internet, you see kids in like high school doing a talent show and you're like, if only I had the freaking balls at that time. Like you're so worried about everything when you're 16, but that one guy who's just like a maniac who just like does a wild dance in front of the school,
so
like that guy becomes an actor, or Adam Devine, is that the guy from Workaholics? He went to the same high school that I went to. He graduated, I think, the year before I started.
Whoa!
But yeah, or a couple years before I started. And everyone talks about him just being like, and he plays a character, but he was like a theater kid and really just outgoing, and everyone just couldn't get enough of this guy. He just, so looking back, I feel like the things that held you back are things that now, in retrospect, you realize didn't matter. And
now you make me think that I shouldn't have been self-conscious about those high school girls basketball games where I was the only spectator and I was yelling. I made a girl shoot the ball from three-quarter court when there was 18 seconds left because I was going 5, 4, and she heaved it. It didn't even make it to the basket.
So that's almost harassment, I would say. That's close to...
No, I've been being out there, Jack.
Yeah, so maybe, you know, some things you should feel self-conscious about, but
I yell things like sea bear. They don't know what that means.
Sea bear?
Yeah, SpongeBob references and stuff like that.
What's sea bear?
Yeah, where you draw the line in the sand so the sea bear can't get to you.
Oh, wow.
Like sea bear defense and stuff like that.
It's rare I don't know a SpongeBob reference. That's kind of one of my shows.
I was going to say. I studied the high arts of SpongeBob for this interview. In preparation.
Yeah, that was one of my classes. SpongeBob. No, I just once took acid and watched SpongeBob for like 5 hours, and it was like life changing.
Whoa!
I was like, this is the greatest show I've ever seen.
I can't even imagine SpongeBob on like hallucinogens.
Dude, you feel like I'm sitting there watching it like, this is for kids? What is going on? Like, there's one, I swear to, I don't remember the episode because I was tripping, but it's like all of a sudden they do something where all of a sudden his skin is off, and it's just like his skin comes off and like walks away or yells, he screams until it's like bone, skin, whatever, and it all like muscle, and I was like, what the? This is terrifying.
Children, yeah, thank goodness children don't have advanced drugs to
such a funny yeah.
Thank goodness they were just operating on their, beginner drugs of joy and carefree thought.
I think that would scare me as a kid. I think I'd be like, whoa. I was scared of... Are you afraid of the dark? And
dude, I was so afraid of the dark as a kid.
Yeah.
Like... Not a fan.
And the
Big
show,
not a fan
and
of
the dark. Yeah, the show and the dark both scared me as a kid. Did you see that show?
The Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh no, dude. Is that a good show?
No, it was just like a kid's scary. It was like
it was like a Twilight Zone for kids. You're saying?
How old are you?
I thought you were asking me if I was afraid of the dark. I was I was afraid of the dark, man. Back in the day,
I was afraid of the dark too. Yeah,
big time.
Like almost to adulthood, I would say.
Like if you put dark in the basement, it's like a dark multiplier.
Yeah. Oh, I never once didn't run up the stairs of the basement. You flick the light and you're like, oh, it's on me.
That's how they should record 40 times. Is running up the stairs after you turn up the light.
Yeah, I heard that's how Derrick Henry trains, is flicking the light off at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, but he's got like triple, the size of stairs because he's got to really get the trick.
Giant stairs.
Do it at elevation.
It's a 4-story house, one set of stairs.
Damn, dude, that's awesome. So what made you like make the leap? I mean, moving to New York is like, I think, the dream of the young, like a starting out comic leap. Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna move to New York. Right?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think of it like
you're like nah.
Of New York. I went there once and I really liked it. And I went to Chicago once and I really liked that too. I like the big city vibe, and
you like being in the thick of it? Yeah,
taking trains, living around 4,000 people in like a 20-foot radius. Like I like all that. I'm like, yeah, you really feel it's like you're alone mentally but not physically, and that's what I like that about it. Okay you can be isolated but know that like someone would find you quickly. Probably someone would find my body eventually, like pretty quick. Actually that's a great way to think of it. I do get that. Just like hearing people is like, you're like, it's like a horse, they run, they put blinders on so they don't see, so they're running to try to find who they're looking for, so it's like, I feel like the blinders are off in New York because you just see and hear everyone doing everything in their own home. So, well, coming from Omaha to New York, like, what was there any initial stories of like things that were like, what the? But you said you liked it, so I don't know. Yeah, we have a lot of Midwestern fans. It does seem like a culture shock. Yeah, a lot of. So to educate them about big city living, if you would. I mean, if you do comedy, moving anywhere is the same because you have a place to go, a thing to do. So, I mean, you moved to New York, and the second day you're there, you can go to 3 open mics, and every single day there's 3 open mics. So you go to a couple open mics, and then you start going to the open mics with the same people, and everyone's talking, and everyone's moving there. So no one knows each other. I mean, you know, you just kind of start going, and you have a built-in place to go and thing to do. So it's super, I mean, in my experience, it was really natural and easy to go there. And it was awesome because in Omaha, you could only do comedy a couple times a week.
Damn.
And, you know, there's a couple mics, and we do some mics that were just so bad, but it was like, whatever, you still like want to do something. So, I mean, the mics in New York were bad, but it was 3 times a day. I mean, people were doing 5. You could start at 3 p.m. on a Monday and do 3 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. You could do all that. And
that's intense.
Every Wednesday I would go 6, 8, 10. And then you have like a bunch of other people who are doing that with you too. So you guys are all hanging out with each other. And so you're like, you know, you like someone or someone does well, or if you know, whatever,
it's like
you
the
see them on the
socialization
train.
that you like didn't seem to get.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, it totally was.
That's cool.
It is cool.
That it felt easy and like natural
awesome.
and like like a vibe.
And it's exciting, and you're taking trains, and you're, you know, people will be like, oh, we always do this, and then we go here, and you're like, all right, and then you're building these like, so it's like every day you had like a circuit you would do, and you know, sometimes you mix it up and do a couple, or there was just so much going on that you could really assimilate easily into the city. And
where'd you live when you initially moved there?
Brooklyn and Bushwick.
Nice.
Yeah, I pretty much was there the whole time. I moved every 2 years, basically. I moved apartments, but
I make fun of my buddy that moved out there. I make fun of him because it's like the rent for the size. It's just like,
yeah, the rent for the size is crazy. Here's one thing I will say. Like, I've been doing the math recently because the thing about New York is you don't have to have a car.
Yeah, Denver's great.
Car costs
is wild.
I've had to fix my car like 2 or 3 times in the year that I've lived here, and it's like, and I did the math, and it's like, damn, that's like, if I broke it down, it's almost $250 a month, which is what I'm saving in rent, like living here. I have actually, my last place in New York, I actually had a really good situation, so that was just lucky, but I had a huge room, but it was like 1,000. It was 1,065, and I pay like
for how many square feet?
Ooh, I couldn't tell you that, but it was as big as this garage.
Okay,
this room,
so like
this
400
studio,
square feet maybe or something. Yeah,
it was as big as this studio, with like 2 closets. It was awesome. 3 windows. It's awesome.
Windows is
and in New York,
for me, so that would be the key.
So it's like, obviously I pay a lot cheaper than that, and our apartment as a whole is a lot nicer, but my room isn't as big, and I have to fix my car every 5 months. So it's kind of like you start to be like, I've had thoughts where it's like, you know, I hope this car lasts. I bought it in New York from a buddy, and that was before I decided to move. I just had a job and a salary, and so I was like, I drove it out here, and I'm like, you know, I hope this lasts. It's a Honda Civic.
Yeah,
and it's a 2009
car, right?
With 150,000. So I'm like, if this lasts me like 5 years and then breaks down, like I might just go back to New York, depending on what my situation is, instead of buying another car.
That's the punt on the new car. Is just, I'll just go back to New York.
I mean, that would be like, you know, I love New York.
I don't want to cut you off, but we do have to pull these wings.
Oh, you got to pull some wings out? Okay, cool. Feels like a good stopping point.
Yeah. Have you listened to radio before?
In the middle of my sentence.
Yeah, you did right here.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Our sponsors, you know, radio, how it works. AMs and the FMs.
I feel like I'm rambling.
This is our signature station identification. You'll be rambling on this meat soon. You're listening to 91.1. Oh shit, was that another plane? We'll be right back. We're back. We're live. It's the After Hours show. Rant time.
After Hours.
Wing review. What do we think? I mean, I dared to. I almost skip past it because I don't want the numbers on this one. But.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I was hoping you asked because he brings out these piping hot wings. They look great. They're moist. And he goes, all right, grab some sauces. I was like, yeah, I'd take some ranch. He's looking through. He knew he didn't have any ranch. As soon as he opened the fridge, he's like, I don't have freaking ranch. Here's the thing that really threw me off. He doesn't have blue cheese either. He brings out 3 different barbecues, 2 of the same barbecue sauce and a second flavor, 3rd bottle of barbecue sauce. And then he rubbed it all over his wings with his fingers. How was I supposed to do anything? So I guess for the first time ever, I dipped a wing in barbecue sauce. Honestly, unhinged. But they were really, actually, and the sides are charred. I'm going to give that a 7.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take a 7 for how poor my... This has been a rough... I mean,
The ranch wouldn't have affected the rating, I will say, but I know cap when I see it. Just next time... So if you're like, I'll make wings for you, you gotta have ranch or blue. I would have turned down blue cheese, but the fact that you didn't have it is like zero foresight. And also, I've never. What is this? Where is that from? That you dip it in barbecue sauce?
Some people like barbecue sauce. Some people just like the dry rub.
I've seen it like. Yeah, I guess I've seen it like tossed in barbecue sauce.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I probably could have just given you yo, you want me to toss these wings barbecue sauce?
Yeah, I would have tossed the wings. Don't give them the option. This ain't a restaurant. This is your home. They'll eat what you want them to eat.
Fine, I'll take your advice.
Unless it's ranch, then you get ranch. Just kidding. They were good. I really did. I wasn't even that hungry, and I ate like 6 of them. They were good.
Thanks, bro.
The right size and a lot of meat on them.
Hashtag thanks, Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson.
I don't know if these were Tyson this time. I try to avoid Tyson, but
you don't know if they were. You don't know what brand they were. You just found them in a bag. Yeah,
found them outside. The Safeway brand, whatever.
Yeah. From the bird flu. They were from 6 months ago.
Section, yeah.
He froze them when all the
Macy's had markdown pricing on them, so
yeah.
It's like Macy's doesn't sell. Well, okay, I guess
Macy's, yeah. Macy's doing bad too, huh? Yeah.
They're doing parade floats, and now this. Goddamn. Did you ever go to any of those big New York events while you were living there? Like New Year's Eve? I know that like that's hell for New Yorkers.
Yeah,
so.
No, I didn't ever go to anything like that. I mean, I didn't know anyone who wanted to do that.
I knew cool people.
I didn't do anything like... I'm trying to think. I went to a music festival on Randall Island once, which was like... It was the Killers are the headliner. The Killers are my favorite band, so I'm like, I'll go see them. And me and my buddy went, and it was kind of funny because, in the middle of New York City, I had gone to Bonnaroo for 9 years in a row. I love music festivals. So we went to one day, and it's in the middle of New York, so everyone, it was just like a bunch of college kids. And then me and my 31-year-old buddy, we're 30 years old or something. I mean, I guess this was probably I was 28 or 29, but it was like one guy asked for a second ID when we were trying to buy a beer, and it was like, no, I didn't bring 2 IDs. I brought as little as I possibly could to get into a music festival. I don't have 2 forms of identity. I'm 28. But it was like, everyone there just had a fake ass ID. So it was kind of a weird, it wasn't that great, but
the Killers
were great always. I've gone to, I don't know, everything in New York is big and crazy. Like, I didn't do New Year's or Macy's Day Parade. I would have to walk.
How about the marathon?
I would have to get through the marathon. The marathon was a pain in the ass, but kind of fun. But I just worked at a bar that was on the route, so you'd have to there's one day I'd have to go down on a train platform to get across the street. I'd have to go under the ground, go down to the end of the train, go up the stairs, and then you could get out on the other side. And I'd have to do that just because the route is all taped off, and it's like the only way to get to the water.
They completely block it off, right? Like, I think I've seen videos of Hasidic people running across the...
Yeah, I mean, you kind of run across, but they'll get you. There's cops everywhere. I mean,
you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. No, they'll get your ass. I had done it a couple times, but only when it was like there. There weren't many people, but I mean, sometimes it's like
it's
5 blocks. You can't get out. Yeah, there's no one, and they'll be in gaps. So yeah, if it was like a ton of people, but you just jump in and jog a little bit and jump out and make it look like it.
I was thinking it was
just
like
hold a piece of paper up.
Like a cinnamon challenge thing where you're like, see how many times in one day we can get across.
Yeah, get across. Yeah, before the cops tase you.
TikTok challenge.
But yeah, definitely didn't do a lot of stuff like that there.
What about like sports and New York sporting events? You go to Yankee Stadium while you're living
I went
there?
to a couple Mets games. I was a manager of a bar, so a lot of beer reps and beer companies that are trying to be at the bar or do sell at the bar. They take care of you and like they'll get tickets for games. And so yeah, I actually was able to go to a couple Mets games and be in a box and be in a couple in a cool, really close to first base once. Like it was really low. So I mean, you could see that this dude had like his phone in his pocket. I was like, damn, this is close.
Damn,
that guy just got a text.
That's so funny. Isn't it funny to see how much players use their phones during professional sporting games?
Dude, baseball, you know this thing they're doing now in baseball? I was watching an opening day last week, and I don't know if this is a new thing. I don't really watch baseball, but I'm in fantasy baseball because I have a friend who he loves it and I love him. So I'm in fantasy baseball. What a good friend. I just want to have something.
I took last in fantasy basketball this year for the same type of thing.
Yeah, this is my 3rd year. I've been last twice. I don't understand baseball. I don't understand fantasy baseball very well.
$10.
It's like 50. It's like 60.
Oh wow.
I like gambling.
Yeah, you're an older dude, I guess. It's fair enough. It's adjusted for age from my age bracket. Right?
Yeah,
you're
sure.
supposed to have $60.
I'm not going to do it for less than 60, but no. They did try to bump it up to 100 this year, and I vetoed. I was like, nah. I was like, look, I'll lose $60 to be in a group chat with my boys for 6 months, but I'm not going to lose $100. Yeah. I'll just text you guys at that point. I'll just call you.
That's so good.
Yeah, but so opening day.
What's the new thing?
The announcer was interviewing a guy who was freaking playing.
Oh my goodness!
He was like, the second baseman. So he's down there in between first and second, in between the pitches, like answering these guys. I was like, holy!
As he's like in his stance, trying to get ready for what might happen.
I mean, he'd just be chilling, and all of a sudden he'd stop and focus, and then it would get like a strike or grounded out, and he'd just be like, "Yeah." Anyway, and I'm like, man, what kind of crazy game? He's just talking in the middle. He's out there on the field, and he's outfield would be one thing. Infield, I feel like you should be watching the whole thing.
Yes, dude. Yes. It's
that was kind of crazy.
It takes one person to take a like broken bat pitch, like hit off in a weird way or something.
Yeah.
During the interview to get hit with something for that not to happen anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, God. Yeah.
Just one person has to get doinked, and then they're like, okay, no more of these.
Yeah, the ball beamed them, in the face.
We're done with these interviews
and
during the game.
And everyone just saw it.
Completed the during game initiative.
I mean, it's like if they could jack in, because it's like, in football, at like 15 seconds or whatever, the coach can no longer talk to the quarterback. But what if the announcer could jack in there and be like, "What are you thinking right now, Joe Burrow?" And he's like,
got you here for 5 seconds.
He's like, fuck, my line can't do anything. And so it's like, God, at what point I love football. I love all sports for the most part. I mean, love in a way where I just appreciate
where you like bet money
sports.
on them.
Like, yeah, I'll bet on anything. I mean, I lost a bet on UFL yesterday. That's the spring football. That's the spring football games.
Wow. Did you ever get in a women's soccer stadium here in Denver?
Damn.
I haven't been to the women's soccer stadium.
They're going to build one there. They announced recently.
Oh, wow.
At the intersection of like 25 and 85 there.
Is this
like
going to be a bit?
It's going to be no. It's
Is
not
this a bit you're doing?
It's not a bit.
Okay.
But it's a bit the city's
I'm like,
doing.
I don't
thinking
want
it's
to
not
walk
gonna.
into something. I go, oh really? And you're like, yeah, 25 minutes in the kitchen or some shit. Like I don't.
No, I would.
Okay.
It
sounded like it. He's looking at me, kind of smiling. I'm like, I'm not walking into nothing here. You're not gonna get me.
It's a bit in that the taxpayers will pay for it, and it will fuck traffic. But that's the only bit happening.
I did go to the men's soccer stadium.
It's dope, right?
I actually did like it, yeah. And yeah, watching live soccer is not that bad.
No?
I don't even understand the names of soccer clubs. They're called clubs. I'm out. I don't want to know. Arsenal, like these aren't names. Like they don't have mascots. Like I don't like any of that, but
yeah, we definitely perfected like sporting culture with the NFL.
I think
It's all been leading to that.
I love the sports, but I think what I'm having a problem right now that I don't love how much access we have to all the athletes and the sports and I mean in the off seasons, these pages, Instagram, because all I follow is I try to only pay attention to sports on social media because I don't go crazy, but it's all talking about how much all the players are making. You're hearing about this benign news that it's like, and I'm kind of like, God, can we give it a break? Like, I'm sick of hearing about a college athlete who has the parameters of some. It's like, hey, well, let's see if they freaking are good though. Like, I don't care about. And so there's everything is so freaking hype all the time. It's like, all right, but it's like
a 24
calm down. You're diluting everything. Everything's diluted because we have to intake so much of it, which is
so no one makes good sports stories like 30 for 30 little exposés. Remember those Sports Center Sunday morning? You wake up and you'd walk. Remember like Sunday sports?
30 for 30 is great.
So good. Yeah. But those little like expose stories, they don't put the time into it because they think attention span is too short or the 24-hour sports cycle is too quick that they can't invest
it became more about the story than the player.
Right.
So if the player was good and all of a sudden he's getting interviewed and then you find out this story, and it's like, wow, but then all of a sudden you see a clip, you see something, it's like, this player lived in his car. And now he's walking on and he's made it to a Division I team. It's like, okay, but is he playing? Is he good? It's like cool, good for him. Obviously, I love that. I love to see that.
Take it a step further. What about that one-arm basketball player, Jack? Got a lot of news coverage. Didn't see a lot of 3-point makes.
It ain't gonna work. Yeah,
a lot of stories written, not a lot of made shots.
Good for them. I don't know who. I mean, yeah. I'd watch him play high school. That'd probably be cool as hell. Let him play high school till he's 20.
Jack, his mixtape is dirty. His high school mixtape of this one-arm dude is just the nastiest thing you've ever seen.
Like crossing over with one hand.
Yeah, it's so dirty, bro.
I mean, he's just going to be like a Harlem Globetrotter or something.
No, I think he's like in college, still grinding college basketball, which is sick. Like Division I college basketball with one arm is like incredible.
Yeah. That is crazy.
So he's a stone cold killer.
I'll have to look that up. Yeah, so sometimes I'm just like, I see so much about the players and how much money they make for an event. I'm sick of hearing all that. I'm sick of hearing about a college player who didn't go to the camp and a college player and how much the college players now make with their deals and how
what do you think of the transfer portal?
What the college players are saying. God, we gotta hear every dumbass 21-year-old.
You don't watch the Twitch stream?
On who? No, college players? No, I don't.
Yeah. They're playing video games.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but then it's just like everything fucking Shadur Sanders does is supposed to be the hypest thing in the world, and it's like, look, I'm not rooting against the guy, but you're making me not like him. It's like I don't want to hear a 21-year-old with like whose celebration is like flexing his fucking Rolex, talking about how much money he's making, and be like, I'm gonna dominate the NFL wherever I go. It's like, oh word, you gotta be the first guy in all of history to come in and just crush you're gonna be Tom Brady. You're telling me that you should like chill out, bro. Sure, that's good to have that Mamba mentality, but like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see every little interaction they have with the media. And it used to be you only saw it if you really looked for it, and I only used to get whatever the Eagles are doing. And now I don't want to hear a lot of what they're doing in the offseason. It's like this guy went to a cookout. It's like, God, let the man eat in peace. fuck, God. But then it's like, but now and everyone's like, also, it's like the dangers of sports. Everyone's like, oh, football's ruining people's heads. We're paying them millions and millions of
First of all,
dollars.
the food is ruining people's heads.
Yeah.
The poison in the food is ruining people's heads.
But it's like, damn, I just, it's such a weird, I want less of everyone else. I just want less.
Have you thought about that, like, new phone, the Brick or whatever, the one that doesn't have any social media? You can only, like, text.
Is that a phone?
Yeah, it's something you spend hundreds of dollars on. So that you can
I thought it was an app.
Level down from, well, they have that too, I think. But there's, like, a whole phone, like, a whole piece of hardware that's, like, just texting, just reading, just... Yeah.
I would be into that, to be honest. I would be into a flip phone again. Yeah.
Oh, dude, a Razor. I've been thinking about trying to go back to a Razor, like buying one on.
You definitely can't. I mean, I used to text T9. That was crazy.
What's T9? Remind me.
That was the predictive.
Yeah, predictive.
You just, so like, instead of like.
Oh, yeah.
Because you only had this, so it's like if you wanted R, you had to press 7 4 times.
Right.
But this would just be like, you spell out the word with the keys and it would kind of predict what you're trying to say.
Huge win for the culture. Made typing way easier.
I remember being able to text like, now, bro, I can't. I sit there and I'm like, fucking not period. I'm not doing double space. I'm trying to hit N. It's like,
D9 is the meta, bro.
it was badass. I mean, I tried to go back to a fucking phone, like a brick phone once, and I had this flip phone that was like the rugged. It was just like you could fucking throw it across a room and it'd be completely fine.
Nokia.
I think it was a Motorola. Yeah, it was like the armored phone. It looked like Batman's phone. Like it looked like you would unhook it from the bat belt.
Wait, hang on. So you got the phone that they made for 20-year veteran longshoremen exclusively?
But that was before the smartphone, so that was like early. Yeah, so that was like actually, it was like that's pretty badass.
They made that for only senior union members.
Yeah.
Jack's walking around to open mics like
that was when I was a teenager too. That was like for
you were the
work.
coolest.
That was for construction workers.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't.
Real.
It wasn't cool. I didn't have texting, but you know how that phone died was it freaking fell in my pocket into a reclining chair, and the reclining mechanism mangled it.
No,
yeah, it wasn't that tough. Dude. It's mostly for drops. Dude, that's what the armor's for. It's not for blades.
What are you getting here? Production on this phone stats.
Dude, the Dura XV, dude.
Dura XV. Shouts out.
Yeah,
life-changing products. What other?
Honestly, I had the iPhone. I had the 5, like whatever the 5 was, 5C or something. I had that for a long time, like the really small.
Oh,
the colors. The first ones you could put different colors in the backings. They had like a rainbow scale of them. That was what the 5C was famous for.
Oh, really? I don't remember. No, I don't know. Maybe it was just a 5S or something. I don't know. I just had like a black.
But it was small.
But it was like the size of like the iPod Touch. It was like really small. And then they just started growing. And I was like, damn, this thing is so... I mean, it had a flat edge. It wasn't rounded. I mean, that was like a little brick.
Dude, I put in people's phones in bags, right, at the club. And they keep getting bigger and bigger. And cases are bulkier. And they were putting like a wallet and a keychain and a lanyard and sunglasses all on the back of your phone.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus. And then someone's got a Stanley Cup on the back of their phone. So they just have to sip out their Stanley with their phone. It's like fucking ridiculous, dude.
Sometimes oh my God, Georgia.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't need to actually hold my Stanley. I just hold my phone. And
yeah, Georgia just got a magnet that goes on. It's like a water bottle with a magnet so you can stick your phone on it. And we're all roasting her, but then everyone else who sees it is like, whoa! And you know what happened the other day is I was watching something on my phone and I used this cup as I like propped my phone right here. Nice. And I was like, you know what? They're on to something. I was like, I can't even take a drink of this. They can take a drink of it. Yeah, it's stuck on there.
Crossover tech is the future. AI. What are we doing to invest in AI?
Yeah.
We're not phone tech crossover products.
I mean, honestly, plug me into the Matrix.
You're in it. Well, hang on. Guess what? Already there.
Yeah, already there. Yeah, hey.
Crazy.
Then hey, everyone, shut the fuck up. God damn it. Sick of it.
That's about enough. You're just a guy sitting
Write something new.
sitting on the porch, like looking out into like the eternal everythingness, and you're like, shut the hell up.
Shut up. Ah, damn, everything is so loud. Everythingness is so loud.
Is that what it was like on SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Everything was so loud.
It is, yeah. New York is so loud that it is like sometimes when you go out to places like, or I go to Omaha, or I go somewhere like here, and you go outside, and it's truly like, oh, this is quiet, dude. You can hear like bugs.
You can't see stars there, right? In New York, there's
You
no stars.
can't. No, you can't see stars.
That's interesting.
Which is kind of crazy to think about. You know, I never really thought about it.
Because you can
out
see a lot
there-
of stars in Nebraska.
Yeah, you can.
A whole
Yeah,
lot of stars.
easily. Yeah.
You saw the Milky Way growing up, I assume.
I don't know if I.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't know if I know that, but
Out in the boonies, you never camp out in the boonies and look up in the sky and see a little Milky Way action.
yeah,
don't
go
know
out
what the
there.
hoops, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm
Not too
down,
much.
Grand Junction.
I wasn't really like a country kid. I was like just a regular kid.
Regular city kid.
I was telling him before, but I was born in California.
Okay.
We lived there till I was 10.
Okay.
So we moved to Nebraska when I was 10. That's where my dad's from. My mom's from
Gotcha.
LA. And so my
That all
formative
makes
years
sense. Yeah.
are in Nebraska. And that's what I was saying, that before you can drive, you're worthless. Because it's like, I can't remember anything about California except when I've gone back to visit, that driving is a fucking nightmare there. That's the only thing.
Okay, I see.
So it's like I didn't know other areas or where anything was in relation to me as a kid. It was Calabasas, so it wasn't developed into what it was now yet.
Okay.
It was, yeah, that's where
You write songs about that.
yeah, that's where Kanye lived and Kim Kardashian lived. I think the Kardashians live there now. Yeah, well, I mean, that's not where I lived, obviously, but we didn't give that up to go to Nebraska, but
Shame we have to sell this to Kardashians to move to Omaha.
we just were like super broke, and then they just were buying all the land to redo it, and so we made it out and became upper middle class in Nebraska. That's what you can do.
Dude, that's crazy. You can just make that lateral move to a different state and be kings.
Yeah.
You really can.
Dude, it took me, I didn't know that until...
Some states, if you move to some other states.
Yeah, I didn't realize until a few years ago, to be honest, but because we moved with my grandma also. We moved from California to Nebraska to Omaha, and we all she bought a house, and we all lived in the house, and then she got her own apartment in it was like a fancy area, and it was like a lot of old people, but it wasn't a retirement. It was just a fancy, like, upscale area of Omaha, and like, my parents were like buying the house from her over time or whatever, and I was like, she must have just been good at saving money, dude. I was like, she was like a librarian, and I think she worked as a cable company for a while, so I'm like, damn, she really figured it out. And it's like, no, her and her husband, who was divorced at a point, but they bought a house in Calabasas in like the 50s.
Yeah.
And
For like 7
for like $50,000.
Yeah, and it ended up being what?
And then they
1.5
sold
mil.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
if we had sold it 10 years, if we had sold it like 5 years later, it would have been $1 million
Crazy.
in 2000. But in 2000, it was still fucking $500,000.
Yeah, dude.
And then we moved to Nebraska, where a house that has 6 bedrooms was like 140,000. So it was like a crazy shift where they just were like, oh yeah, now we can afford. So it is like a wild move to be able to. And I mean, obviously my dad's from there, so he got a job there right away and set up, and
Connects, ties.
so it was like it was a good move all around. But yeah, I'd say I'm happy we did move, because I think life would have been a lot tougher in California. Some of the kids that I grew up with, that I connected with later, seemed like they had a bit of they had to grow up a little faster than I did. Dude, some people I went to elementary school with, when I reconnected with them at points, like when I was 20, I went out there, I think was the last time, but I mean, they were like, dude, when we got to middle school, it was like we were in there with adults. They're like, it was crazy. Like, like kids are doing like drugs in middle school.
Dude.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, see, in Nebraska, that was not how, I mean, some people were maybe smoking weed at a point, but like, it was so hush hush. Like, there was like, they were trying alcohol, and people were, obviously kids drink in high school and early as middle school, but like, this seems like meth drugs, not like trying a mushroom in middle school. They're like doing meth and shit, exposed to shit like that. Yeah, like pills, dude, which is not fun for a kid.
No, well, I mean, there's some pill culture around Boulder too.
Oh, for sure, dude. It's like all the nice designer drugs. Very big designer.
Now. I see now, that's why it's funny, because now as an adult, I feel like I would really appreciate those drugs. As a kid, what the fuck are you anxious about? A test? You don't even know.
Yeah, I was
taking freaking Xanax or painkillers. Like, I didn't know. This is something I've been doing, but I mean, my back hurts all the damn time now. I would totally be addicted to painkillers, dude. It's awesome when the pain goes away.
Yeah, dude, it's so nice.
But like, man, I've taken painkillers because like someone had them, and I was like, yeah, all right. And then it's like I don't feel anything or notice anything. It's kind of like, you know, people are getting fucked up or whatever, and I'm like, I take Xanax. I've taken Xanax. I don't take it, but I've taken it. Yeah. I just didn't really notice anything. Didn't really, yeah. We would take it to go to sleep, and I would just stay up. And I mean, sometimes I would definitely be chill as fuck. But like, I'd be eating a bar, and I'd be like,
you remember it, dude?
Yeah.
After a bar?
Yeah, Ambien would knock my ass out. See, that's when I did shit I didn't remember.
Interesting, because Ambien, I've taken Ambien because they were in college. I couldn't sleep, and they were trying to give me Ambien to sleep. And then, like, if you stay up on Ambien or you can't fall asleep, it's not chill. Yeah, not chill.
Yeah, I feel
end up in some weird spots.
I feel like one time I had taken Xanax, and I was like, I was kind of upset before, and now why am I chill? Like one time I like noticed that something happened. Like
the actual medical effects of the drug.
Yeah, I was dating a girl, and we would just take them, and she would be like, and she would knock out, and I would just be like, yeah, well, she wasn't. Yeah. Till we stopped.
Is what we call that, folks. I bet she was a slow burn too.
But yeah,
because she fell asleep with her cigarette on. You know. Oh. Like slow burn on cigarette because the bar. I'm just trying to make a bit out of it. Jeez. Trying to make art over here, Chris. Stop looking.
Yeah, the key to making a bit out of it is having no one on the same page in the room.
Hey, I'll bid alone.
Good bit.
I'll bid alone.
Great bit.
Vitiligo? Isn't that
Vitiligo?
Vitiligo? It's close to vitiligo.
Splotchy bit?
Yeah, that's a splotchy bit. It's just one man bit. It's a vitiligo. Come on. Tell me I didn't make something out of nothing there. Come on.
No, you great wordplay. All right.
Any dark, deep stories of New York? Any like strange nights or occurrences that deserve of a tale, a retelling? Or your life in general, perhaps.
I mean, kind of, you know, that's one thing that is also really fun about New York is kind of like,
we don't talk about it.
Well, it's not that you don't talk about it, but yeah, it doesn't seem like I could tell a story and it just isn't, it's not like crazy. I mean, it doesn't feel crazy. And sometimes people are like, that's crazy. I'm like, it's not that crazy, but you know, it is like, it's like talking about a dream. You just tell a story and you're like, well, in the moment and when you're there, it's been awesome. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh, bro,
I mean,
and that's what you can take me there. I'll come there with you, Jack.
Yeah,
I'll come right
I don't know. I'm thinking of like one time. So I used to run. Me and my friend ran an open mic, in the Lower East Side, and it was on Ludlow Street. It was on Mondays at 8:00, and it was in the basement of this bar, and I didn't even realize that the bar had an upstairs for like a while because it wasn't open on Mondays. So we would just go down into this cellar of a bar, but some bars were like that. So I thought that this bar was just like that. It had like a huge space up top, but it was not open on Mondays. But they opened the basement because there would be our open mic, and then they would have the longest running drum and bass party in New York City. It had been running different venues, but same like organization running it for like 20 years or something. It was weird. It's like, I mean, there'd be like a couple people there and some terrible DJs, but so we had to be done at 10 sharp because these guys would come in and start bullying us to start their little DJ shit.
Hey, dude, it's the longest running fucking.
And so one time, me and my friend just like at the start of our mic, we just dropped some acid and we're like, we're just gonna stay the whole night. I mean, that thing ran until 4 a.m, and we were friends with the bartender at that point, so we're like, let's just fucking do some acid and hang out for the fucking techno shit. I mean, so we do the open mic and then a couple people start coming in. I mean, there'd be like a little bit of people. It wasn't a big space. But you know, the little lasers and the fog machine, they'd get going. And I remember watching one guy come in like a full suit and then like a briefcase and like or a backpack, and at a point he's like taking his jacket off and he does something. He puts knee pads on and elbow pads, and he starts doing. I mean, he's like really pumping and doing stuff and getting on the ground and doing shit. And it's like, dude, honestly, the DJs fucking sucked, dude. It was bad, man. And like, I like electronic, and at that time especially, I mean, I was probably 27. I was into doing drugs and listening to EDM and dance music, and this was drum and bass. I mean, it wasn't like a awesome. Yeah. It was just like, one beat almost the whole time.
That's like ecstasy.
And it was like, but it was awesome because then the bartender's just feeding us free drinks and we're just kind of tripping, and it did start to look pretty cool down there. And you're just in this like, and I remember me and my friend walked around outside. And this was one of the first times I had done acid in the city, and we just were like walking around. And this is like Lower East Side, so this is on. I think the street was around Delancey and Essex, which is a pretty busy area. But we're on one street where all of a sudden I'm just like, there's a guy like kind of following us, like, and I was like, all of a sudden my friend's just tripping, saying, and it's a girl, she's just saying like dumbass tripping shit way out loud. Like basically, if like all of a sudden I had this moment of realization where I'm like, we're like a target right here. I think I turned her away and we walked around this guy, but like he seemed like he was walking towards us, and then and that could have been the drugs talking, but I was like, we gotta get back in that basement because you shouldn't be two kids who aren't from here out on the street tripping like with your bag and your fucking wallet and your phone, like looking at a glass thing like, whoa, this is so cool. Like you're just like a siren, you know?
Yeah.
For an attack.
So you like premeditated anything?
And I might have made that up in my head, but I was like, it's not a good idea to be out here with the cars and the crazies. Let's go back into the bar. So we went back in there. And just spent until it was like 4, until we were like coming down, and it was, but
so smart, dude.
But yeah, that's kind of how it is, like, because it's like, it's not, it doesn't always feel as dangerous as everyone assumes. Like, people in the Midwest think it's like a bloodbath out there. And it's like, you're not even allowed to have guns, so it's not like, it's not crazy, but...
Well, that means that only the, bad people have guns.
Only the bad people have guns, but yeah.
Well, that's what the media would have me to believe, right, Jack?
Even the good people use them on good people. The good people become bad with a gun. That's how it works.
Power corrupts, absolutely.
Yeah, it does. But then there's definitely parts or moments where you're like, all right, you're in the real world. You're not in your hometown. You don't leave shit unlocked. I still walk by houses in my neighborhood where they got lawn furniture out. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, yo, are you crazy? Like, it's on their front porch. Yeah. I'm like, damn, no one's taking that? That's great. It's not even chained down. In New York, if you had patio furniture on the stoop, I mean, it had 3 ropes going through it, tied to shit, like...
Damn, dude. That's wild.
People just steal shit to steal shit there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, people steal shit to steal shit
I've
here,
had
but not
stolen.
Even close to that level.
Yeah, and I mean,
people
here
steal
people,
bikes here
Here
and
people
stuff.
steal bikes. Yeah, that's true.
For sure. And like Vespa, like, you know, other car. I mean, fucking car insurance, like you said, costs to be having a car.
Yeah.
So expensive here in Colorado
Yeah.
because people break into and steal cars over the last 4 years at like rates they haven't
Really?
ever before.
Oh,
So
I mean,
that's
yeah,
why
it's
so
still way
expensive.
cheaper than New York.
God.
Mine did go down like,
I can't imagine how much it must
So
cost to own a
much.
vehicle in the city of New York.
yeah, it was crazy. I think it was $1,000 more for 6 months.
Do you pay? How much was parking that vehicle?
Well, in Brooklyn, you can do street parking and you don't have to pay.
What? You can just find a spot?
In areas, yeah. I mean,
Wow,
well, yeah, if you can. I mean, sometimes I park 4 or 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
Depending on where I was going, but yeah, I mean, in the city, street parking is all meters, and there's definitely metered streets, but in a lot of Brooklyn I mean, I lived in a neighborhood, so you could just park, but I mean, yeah, sometimes, and street cleaning there is 4 days a week.
Jesus.
It's Monday,
What?
so Monday and Thursday is one side, Tuesday and Friday is the other side, and there's nothing on Wednesday.
So you have
Some
to.
streets might be Wednesday, but usually.
So that means you have to what? Move your car? What like?
So if you had it, yeah. So like every Monday and every Thursday from like outside of my apartment was like 11 to 1:15 or something. Or it'd be like it'd maybe be like an hour and 45 or hour and a half. So 11 to 12:30, and so sometimes you just like set an alarm, go out at 11:15. Move it. You try to find another spot, but I mean, at that point, everyone's looking for a new spot, or everyone's moved, or everyone's. So I mean,
good. It's a common good. Little economics
sometimes I
lesson.
would just take my Switch or my phone or something, and just go sit in my car, and for an hour and a half, like killing time, just so I wouldn't move it. And if anyone was gonna give me a ticket, I'd move. But you just are like, or just sit on a hydrant or something, and
Yeah. Damn.
just take a little nap in your car and then go to it. This is another problem I have with Denver is everyone drives like an asshole here because no one thinks about anyone else. No, there's no
Get the fuck out of my way, Jack.
There's no consciousness.
Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
my
exactly.
way, brother.
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah, you
I'm
say
on the
that.
roads.
You
Get the
say
fuck
that,
out
but
of my
you
way.
also don't want to. But you say that.
I'll get out of your way. I will happily get the fuck out of your way. If I'm in your way.
You say.
I promise you I will.
You say get out of my way, but then you say also I'm gonna get in the lane I need to be in 4 miles in advance. Create a line
That's
2.5 miles long, and if you try to get in front of me, I swear, fucking God, I'll fucking kill you. Yo, everyone here is such a bad
I
driver,
agree. Okay,
bro.
this is true.
It's terrible.
This is true. There are so many bad
There's
drivers.
no regard for anyone else.
You
On
get-
the road, you act like, and they don't want to merge, they don't want to
Agreed.
let anyone in, but also, why do you want to wait for 4 fucking light turns just
Agreed.
because you don't want to try to merge
Make
in or
another-
just be nice to each other?
Yeah.
Instead, everyone's on the line like, I waited 15 minutes of this line. You're not going to get into inch in and inch in. It's like, bro, you could have got in my lane. No one went in my lane.
Yeah, dude.
How many times when you're getting off the interstate, the line, it's so long, and then you're up at the exit, and there's huge gaps because everyone is stopped and starting, and everyone's
Idiots.
looking at their fucking phones. So it's
Idiots.
like, yo, every time you can I cut 8 minutes off a drive the other day because I used the second turn lane, which went onto the same interstate. It was unbelievable how long the line was.
That's crazy.
Idiots, dude. No, that's the thing that Colorado drivers don't get is they should all have to take an optimization and driving class.
Yeah.
They all drive in the wrong lanes. They don't understand how to merge. And if everyone understood how traffic works, they could make traffic better. But they drive like
Yeah.
such fucking assholes.
They want to gun it to make sure you can't get in.
Exactly.
If you're in front of someone by like 50 feet and they're in that lane and you're in this lane and you put on your blinker, they punch it. They're like, not in front of me. It's like, why? You were going there and I was going here. Everything was fine. I'm just getting over. They're like, whoa! It's like, yo, fucking, it's maddening, bro.
Yeah, if there's a car that's like any bit sporty and I try to like put on a blinker, because I'm, a nice blinker guy, I even blinker, they're like, meh! I'm not going to let this truck take time off my valuable life. Yeah.
You let someone in and then they're also turning left. You let them in, but then they stop at the most impossible left turn on Logan. And you're like, bro, why did you cut me off and I was being nice about it? And now you're going to block traffic for fucking 2 miles?
Dude. Oh. What are you doing? What are you doing?
And the other thing is people just park like crazy. They take up. No one wants to parallel park. It's the scariest thing to a Denverite. Oh, you can't. No.
They shudder at it.
I watched a lady drive around the street like 4 times being like, I'm not parallel parking. I'm waiting till one. And dude, it's like, and so people just like pull up. If the street's kind of open, they pull in the center. And make it so no one else can park around. Outside my apartment, you can have 5 cars on this spot. There's 5 cars, and then there's 3 cars. That's the 2 areas. And when someone's parked where there can only be 4 cars or 2 cars, I mean, it haunts me.
That's your sound drop. I hope that's his sound drop. It haunts me.
I walk by it thinking of the horrible things I want to do to the car. Like, I want them to come out and there's a knife in the wheel, and I'm like, there should be 3 cars. You freaking jackass. Like,
the Riddler. How many cars should fit in this space?
Someone was living in their fucking RV or something outside our apartment for like a week.
What?
And I would walk by it and make audible threats about damaging it, as if assuming that they were sleeping in there. I would walk by and go, yeah, I don't know, but if it's here next week, I'm gonna start breaking shit on it. And then I would just say that as I walked by it to try to be like, I don't know, but I hope it's gone soon because I'm gonna start bashing in mirrors. And then it's like gone a couple days later. I'm like, yeah,
man,
it's
really
working.
Effective.
It's working.
An operative?
I know you're sleeping in there, you motherfuckers. Get out here.
Can I get anything I want in life with just threats? You start questioning. You're like,
yeah. I get road rage pretty bad,
dude. Me too.
And then
mostly
every time,
with incompetency, though. It's just pure incompetency. You're driving the left lane at 10 under the speed limit, and people are passing you on the right actively. Get the fuck over.
Yeah.
It's a 2-lane, both ways university. Get the fuck in the right lane before someone shoots out your tire. Like, seriously.
Oh my God. I'll be like, like steam coming out of my ears. What the screaming. I have to look at, and then I'll immediately be like, yo, you gotta calm down. You're just driving. Here's one thing I'm trying to really do. Don't get road rage when you're driving to work.
Dude,
it's not worth it to go to a job you don't want to go to and to be mad in the car. I'm like, here's another thing. Here's why, you know what the reason I get road rage is? It's not the incompetency. It's my incompetency because I'm late all the time. So I'm always in a fucking hurry. So every little minor thing that goes, every red light is like pushing the knife a little further into my gut to where it's just like mangling me into Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's like, so I'm trying to, this is what I am legitimately trying to do, is to be on time. Is trying to leave early, be there early. Here's the problem, because I don't want to be there early, so I leave where I'm like, this is how long the drive is, 22 minutes. I'm gonna leave when got 22 minutes. I don't factor in that I gotta walk down the stairs. I gotta go to my car on the street. It's probably 2 to 3 minutes.
Buffer time.
Jimmy
buffer time.
And then, dude, in Denver, especially when you're driving to downtown, I feel like it's, if you hit one red light, you're gonna hit every red light,
dude.
And then
it's gotta be
the cycle. It's over for you.
It's some Schrodinger's red light thing. It's on or it's off.
And then, well, dude, I was riding with Nick. We ran one red light. We hit every green light after that.
Bingo.
For literally all the way from South Broadway to downtown. It was insane.
Get in that light.
You run one and you're in a thing. Yeah. So I was like,
the pocket.
Yeah, dude, it was really, but I sit there and I'm just like, when I hit every single red light and I'm late and I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, come on. If I just hit this one and then I don't, I'm like, and then I'm trying to, and I'll be like, calm down. And then I hit one and it just goes out the window again. I just go right off. It's so, honestly, I do. it reminded me that when I moved to New York, one of the reasons I chose New York was to not drive, was to do the trains, do public transit. I got a bike. I did everything. Like, I didn't want to drive anymore. I didn't want to go somewhere where I had to drive. I didn't want to have to deal with the car.
So you had the road rage from what, 15? When did you get learner's permit in Nebraska?
16. Yeah, I was able to drive. Yeah.
When did you start getting?
Probably took a while. I got a couple accidents, couple speeding tickets.
Seat, like, calm down. Like,
yeah.
They didn't cut you off that badly.
Yeah. No, I'd say road rage developed later in life. Yeah, I feel as a young gun, you're just scared. You're like, I'm
same.
king of the road.
I was scared shitless.
Now I'm like,
get the fuck out of the way.
Now I'm like, what are you idiots doing?
Brother, it's been an absolute pleasure. I don't want to keep you too late.
Awesome. No, this is fun.
Have you heard of this silly little country called England?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got this thing over there called knighting.
Okay.
Here at Top Shelf Studios, I've after a long form conversation, I'm doing the hiding.
Okay.
Because all my life, people have been like, "Hey, can I get a couple inches? How's the weather up there?" And things like this.
Okay. So you're gonna make me taller?
Occupy this tall frame. Well, what I've learned now that I've got this prefrontal lobe, because I, had it for a year, 2 years now, something like that. They say, yeah, whatever. You've had it for a bit longer.
A prefrontal lobe.
Yeah, the full brain thing.
You're mature.
Mature. They say.
Yeah.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Yeah. I actually got mine removed.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Well,
I asked for a vasectomy. They fucked that up. But it's yeah. Not all lobotomies failed.
Success story, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I used to actually be really nice and go to church.
Well, after the long form conversation, I'm going to give you a heart height. How tall do you stand physically?
My license is 5'9". I think I'm about 5'9".
Jack Comstock. I heart height thee 6'5".
Whoa, 6'5".
That way you can yell down at people on the road.
Oh my word! What's the title for tall? Like, if you're knighted, you're sir now. What's
shit.
What's the title that comes
come
with
up with
it?
Something. We don't have a title.
Maybe like
yeah. I don't know. We got to think of one. The tall.
Yeah, jeez.
Maybe the tall. Jack Comstock, the tall.
Oh, that's yeah. That's like a
It's
specific like Sir Elton John, the pianist.
Yeah.
Well, you could think of something. Maybe
Dur
for
works.
Sir, Dur tall.
Dur Jack.
Thinketh he's 6'5".
I don't know. We'll workshop that because you've just discovered a fatal flaw in the show. Thank you.
Hours of collaboration.
My God. We'll get some immigrants around a round table and
Start writing.
Yeah.
That's first immigrant right there. We're good. Well, where can the people find you? Where they can support you? This is going to come out in a couple weeks. We're a little backlog.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
if you got any late April, May dates to plug.
On Instagram, I'm Hack Comstock.
But you're not a hack. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's ironic.
Post-ironic.
You should see my fart bits. I'm gonna go to Rover. I'm gonna go to Rover and do them.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, Hack Comstock, and I guess I'm going to be in New York the first week of May. On April 30th, I'm doing the Cracked show at the Gutter in Brooklyn. I don't know.
We should make McConaughey come out to one of his shows. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, Bolero, Cherry Creek. That's where I do most of my bowling.
Oh, are you a bowler?
Yeah, I'm a bowler.
Dude, we didn't even get into the bowling.
I've never bowled a perfect game, no. I got my high score the other day. It was 252.
Whoa.
It was actually... Dude, it was like frames 1 through 5 were strikes. Bro, my hands were sweating. I was like... I'm like alone. I'm like, no, fuck. It's going to be a perfect game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to throw the ball. Oh my! I mean, seriously, I've never sweat out of my hands before the ball had a
understand why they got those fans there.
Yeah,
You're
the
like,
sixth frame, I got a 7. I was like, all right. And then but then I finished out really strong. But man, I was like, don't think about it. I'm already like, dude, if I have one strike to start a game, I'm like, is this it? Is this gonna be 5 to start? I was like, something's happening. I'm all alone. No one's around.
Did you get hyped on the turkey when you got that turkey?
Oh yeah. Every turkey is a good feeling. But I'm actually I'm bowling really well right now, so I'm actually really excited.
Are you in a league or just for fun?
I'm not in a league at the moment. It's kind of a big commitment to be in a league.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I just leveled up. I feel like, so I'm thinking about a league at a point. I would love to go on the cash do some circuit. Tournaments.
Yeah.
You can do some tourneys. I was talking to the guys in the pro shop at Bolero. There's a lot of tournaments you can try to get in. Yeah. But their averages are a lot higher than mine, so I got some work to do.
Here, let's
yeah, it was awesome.
We can do the bowling pick for our thumbnail here. Good.
That's why sometimes people will tell you, if you bring up bowling, people will be like, I threw a 200 once.
No, dude, I suck.
And I'm like, there's no way. They're like, yeah, I was super drunk and it does everything. And I'm like, dude, I threw a 252. That was 8 strikes and 3 spares. That was literally 5 strikes in a row, 2 spares, 3 more strikes in a row, and then another spare. And that was like that was 252. So someone
like a 160.
Yeah, someone being like, "Oh, I bowled a 220, and I don't know how it happened." I'm like, because it didn't happen. It was a 120, and you're thinking it was crazy because everyone was bowling a 40 or something. Bowling is tough a little bit. I mean,
dude.
Without spares and strikes, you don't get over 100.
I bowled with these fingers until I was 25. No one told me.
Yeah, that's
no one fucking told
like a animal, like raised by wolves.
Raised by wolves.
Were you throwing it? I've seen girls do this.
Bowls with wolves.
Bowls
with wolves. That's a good team name.
That's the name of the episode. At the very end, we found it.
My team name was Dragon Ball Z. That was
Dragon Ball Z.
I made shirts. But it's a bowling ball with Super Saiyan hair.
So good.
I was thinking of getting it tattooed. We won one season, and when I moved, I was like, maybe I'll get this like bowling ball with Super Saiyan hair.
Where would you get it? Where was a good spot for
I got them. I get them on my legs usually, just because then just wearing pants most. Then you only show them if you want to.
That hat you have, that Puma. Oh, yeah. I remember that's the Puma I would put on my legs with the temporary tattoos when I was 6. Yeah. That was like the one.
Yeah, that was a Friday the 13th sale.
I could be cool if I had this. That was one of my hat things. Oh, by the way, you noticed. Completely forgot about the cool hat.
I think a hard chart and Super Saiyan bowling ball tattoo just
square in the neck. Yeah. The energy is coming up into my mouth. Yeah. Hey, I'm closer to a neck tattoo than you think. Honestly, if the only thing holding me back is I think it'd be weird to have none on my arms and a tattoo on none on my arms or chest and have it on my neck. Yeah, it'd be like starting at the neck. I was like, no, I'm not gonna get any more. I just wanted this one on my fucking neck.
Pretty stark for sure. It's definitely a decision.
But I'm not thinking about it.
Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Please check him out, follow him, watch him do comedy. He's fucking hilarious. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Fuck off and be well.